Okay, hello everybody. If you see me, go ahead and comment because I'm all on my lonesome today. So I do see we have some viewers, so go ahead and pop in the chat how you're doing, how your week has been, what you had for breakfast, whatever you feel like sharing. So it is just me today, and so it'll probably be fairly short, but Catherine had other obligations, so here I am. So welcome to What's New and Coming Up with Lipedema. I am Siobhan, and I'm the research specialist with Lipedema Simplified. And we do have a few things coming up. The big one is actually that we're going to be doing a webinar on Sunday, actually. So that's going to be me, Carrie Reedy, and Leslie Keith. So as some of you may already know, we did have a new paper that just got published recently. And that is about the holistic approach to ketogenic diets for lipedema. So it's kind of like a set of carbohydrate restriction or carbohydrate reduction guidelines for lipedema. And it covers not just the nutritional aspects, but then also like the emotional side, the psychological, the social, so stuff like that. And we talk about all of that in the paper. So what we thought would be nice is if we put together a webinar to talk more about this paper, introduce you to some of the concepts, because we think it's really going to be helpful for several different scenarios, but the two that I have talked about a lot is, I'm going to move my pill out of the way. But the two scenarios that I think about a lot are the low carb doctors who may not know a lot about lipedema and the special considerations for nutrition for lipedema, or like what they're trying to do in terms of nutrition. So what symptoms are expected to reduce from it? What are the targets that they're aiming for? And then the other side are um, the lipedema practitioners who may not be as familiar with carbohydrate reduction. So kind of bridging those two gaps, bringing them together and covering a lot of content and a lot of the research on both lipedema and ketogenic diets as well. And low carb in general, we talk about more of a spectrum. So and then we do have some people in the chat. Hello, hello. So Swift K from Illinois. Hi, how are you doing? How's the weather? And then Jenny from the Isle of Wight. She said hi. I said hi back. And yeah, so that's the first thing that's coming up. And let me pull up the information on that so that I can give you specifics instead of being vague. And for those who are just joining, I'm just talking about the webinar that is coming up this Sunday, and this is a free webinar. Let's see, did I grab the right one? That is the question. So we've got special webinar. Yes, okay, it is that one. So I just put it in the chat, but that is the link to use if you want to sign up for this webinar. And again, just like all our other free webinars, if you can't attend in person, go ahead and sign up on that page anyway, because after the video has been edited and everything has been put together, we'll send out a link to the recording as well. So if you're interested in any of our webinars, make sure to sign up, even if you can't be there in person. And again, this is going to be us talking about our paper that was just published. We've had a really good response, which is really awesome. I was able to talk to some people at Low Carb San Diego about it right before it got published. And so there were some low carb docs there who were very interested in it. And then I'm also hoping that it'll be helpful for the lipedema focused practitioners as well. So come and join us there. And then that is going to be Sunday, September 21st at 7 p.m. Eastern. So that's going to be 5 p.m. Mountain Time and 4 p.m. Pacific. So come join us there. It's going to be me, Leslie Keith, and Carrie Reedy. And I'm sure many of you know and love all of those people. What is the name of the paper? Great question. So it's the holistic approach to therapeutic carbohydrate reduction. I'll grab the link to the paper in case you want to read it. Let's see. It is Therapeutic Carbohydrate Reduction for Lipedema Guidelines for a Patient-Centered Holistic Approach. And I will put the link in the chat for you. There you go. So that's the paper that we're talking about, and that is an open access paper, which means that it's free to read. It is very long, so I would recommend reading it in chunks, maybe not all in one sitting unless you've got a nice long while to look at it. But I'm really excited about this paper. It was a lot of fun to write. And then I was able to use a lot of the questions that I saw when I went to the Lipedema World Congress the year before last, of what the practitioners were talking about there, what their concerns were with long-term carbohydrate restriction or ketogenic diets, some of the things that came up in the presentation. And I was able to pull from the existing research on ketogenic diets that you may not know unless you've been in that research space. So it can kind of have this like siloing effect in a lot of medical things, but bringing those together and marrying them together is always good. So that's the first thing that's going to come up. Again, that's Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern, this Sunday. And then the next big thing you can see on the banner down here is September 26th, 27th, and 28th is our heart-to-heart 3-day virtual event. We're calling it our Congress this time because it's a meeting of minds from all over the world to talk about our new textbook that'll be coming up early next year. And I'll put the link in there. It hasn't come up in the chats. Okay. Yeah, so if you don't see it in the chat, then we will have the link at the webinar. So come to the webinar. Yeah, and then Sherry Simmons said, hi. Sherry, I will hopefully see you on Sunday. So for people who are in Tribe, this Sunday, along with the webinar, right before that is going to be our arts and crafts meetup. I haven't been there the last 2 times. I had conflicts that came up, but I will be there this time, and I do have things to show. So everybody there, either they'll share their arts and crafts stuff that they're working on so that everybody can make room and time for their hobbies and relaxation and meditation stuff, or if they don't have anything that they're working on, or they haven't stepped back into the hobby world as part of their self-care, they can just come and hang out and look at all the other stuff people are doing. So I will be there on Sunday, and I will be showing off my knitting and spinning that I've been doing. So returning back to the Congress, this is focused around the Lipedema textbook that is coming out. So Jenny said, do we need to register if we're in Tribe? If you're talking about the arts and crafts, you can just go to the calendar that is in Circle, and there should be a link in there, and then you can just hop on when the room opens up. So that's at Sunday at, I believe it's 5 p.m. Eastern. And Sherry said, I'm looking forward to seeing you both. At both. Yes. Me too. Okay, so Congress, talking about our textbook that's coming up. We're going to have a bunch of the authors there. Stanley Roxon is going to be there. I'm going to be there. It's going to be great. Oh, no, the webinar, please. Yes, so for the webinar, you do need to sign up. I'll put the link back in the chat. If you don't see it pop up, I should actually be able to put up a banner with the link because it's an easy to type one. Let me see here, because it is just lipedema-simplified.org/special-webinar. Let me see if I can pull that up here. Do we have a banner for it? Oh, that one is active, that's why. Okay, so I shall create one because I have such powers. Add banner and show. Okay, there we go. So if it doesn't show up in the comments, then I have the thing here. So the most important thing is learn.lipedema-simplified.org/special-webinar. And that is where you can register. Sherry said 5:30 p.m. Eastern. Okay, perfect. And that's for the arts and crafts. And then this webinar is at 7 p.m. Eastern. So we're going to go directly from our arts and crafts. It's going to be very tight. And then we're going to go into the webinar, and then we'll have fun there as well. So we've got that. And then I keep talking about the Congress, and then I keep moving away from it. But we've talked about it before, and it's going to be really great. Like all of our events, it's not just going to be the authors coming in and giving presentations and then nothing else. There's going to be a lot of time for socializing and getting to know your peers. And I think one really helpful thing for this one in particular is that you'll have the opportunity to discuss the content with other people. So if you watch the presentation and you're like, okay, that one on genetics was kind of over my head, then you'll get the opportunity to go into small groups and talk about it further and kind of digest it with other people for a little bit. And then, of course, talking in the chat as well throughout the entire event. It's one thing that I really appreciate about all of these different events that we do, the webinars, and especially the heart-to-heart events, is that it's the only online conference or live event or whatever that really has that social component to it, which I think is really helpful for a lot of people, especially with lipedema, when there's so much beyond just the physical that we talk about. So yes, the symptoms definitely, but how they affect us emotionally, socially, all that different stuff. And then just leaning on the power of community to digest that information and figure out, like, okay, what's my next step? How can I best utilize this information? All that stuff. So another important thing to mention in terms of the event is you'll notice that it is a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. That means, and then we also have our check-in on Thursday. So that means that Curious Explorers on Thursday is paused for this upcoming week. The Friday Facebook Live will be paused because we'll be in the actual event at that point. And then Catherine's vlog on Sunday will also be paused. So all of those will be paused, but then the following week we will be back. So just keep that in mind. If you show up and nobody's there, or there's not anything going on, we are in the event in the Congress. So that would be why. Okay, so that's all for the news. Yeah, that's all for the news. In terms of the weather here, in case you're interested, it's a very gray day. The sky is quite white. In fact, it's not gray. It is a little bit cooler here now that it is officially fall, which is nice. I do like the cooler weather. Yeah, and it's getting closer and closer to October, which is probably my favorite month of the year. Especially because I like Halloween, and I'll actually be going on a working vacation at the end of October because my boss does mention I do have vacation time and I keep not taking it. So he kind of nudges me about it. So I figure, okay, I'll work half days for like a week and a half. And I will be in South Dakota during that time for about a week and a half, like I said. I'll be actually exploring the town that I'm going to be living in starting next spring. So I'll be hanging out downtown. I'll be going to the farmer's market. I'll be looking at their live music. I'll go to the yarn store that's down there. And I will just be having a grand old time getting some relaxation, looking at the Falls Park that's in town or near town. and just getting to know people who will eventually be my neighbors, which will be interesting. Hopefully, I go there and I think everyone is awesome and great. I can't say I've really been anywhere in the US where I haven't thought people were awesome and great, so I think that'll be fine. But yeah, so I guess that kind of goes towards self care, taking vacation time, taking a pause from my research work during that time. I'll actually be pausing my research work throughout the whole of October, but worry not, I will come back right after that. It's just been a very, very busy year. We've had the textbook, and then we've had the Congress. I've done several presentations for Nutrition Network, which is super awesome. I'm actually taking some Nutrition Network courses right now that they use for their like education for coaches. I'm not intending to become a coach, but it's a good revisit of the basics for carbohydrate restriction and metabolic health type stuff. So I'm taking that. I'm also taking some American history courses that are available free on a college site, basically. So not enrolled in college, but I'm taking some of the courses that they offer, and just doing a lot of stuff. Yeah, a lot of stuff. Very busy year, but also very productive. We have the one paper, and then we also have another paper that we're working on. And once that is out, we will share it and tell you all about it, and probably have another webinar. I would not be surprised, because that'll be another long one. But yes, and SwiftCase said, sounds fun, well deserved. My husband and I head to Pennsylvania to visit family in October. Awesome. Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to it. Like every single day, I'm like, okay, is it May yet? Is it time for me to move yet? I'm like, once I make a decision, it's like, okay, I'm ready. I want it to be like right now, but there's a lot that goes into moving that has to get done first. And I have a bunch of travel at the end of this year, so there's no way I can do it right now, and my lease doesn't expire until the spring. So I'm patiently waiting, but also going on vacation to get some of that impatience out. And then Jenny said, enjoy yourself, safe travels, definitely. And Sherry said, exciting stuff. I think so too. I talked to a couple people who said, moving is really stressful. Are you stressed out? It's like, no, not really. The move to South Dakota is really going to be the first step towards the next phase of my life, because the first step is moving to South Dakota where things are a lot cheaper. It's very family friendly. There's really good community there, Midwesterners, which is what I grew up with in Indiana. The next step, hopefully in 2027, hopefully spring or summer 2027, my husband will hopefully get his green card. And then there's a lot of family building and looking for houses and all sorts of stuff that'll be coming after that. So I am really excited and looking forward to it. Okay, so that is everything that's coming up. Make sure to register for our upcoming webinar. Make sure to put on your calendar that Curious Explorers, the Friday Facebook Live, and Catherine's Sunday vlog are paused for this upcoming week, but we will be back the week after that, so don't worry too much. And then we'll also be having the Congress this following weekend, so not this weekend, but the weekend after that, 26, 27, and 28 of this month. So if you haven't signed up for that, definitely do if it's something that you're interested in. Otherwise, our book will be coming out next year, and we do have more books that'll be coming after that. We've already got those in the works. And yeah, so we will see you either Sunday if you're coming to the webinar, and I do hope to see all of you there. And if not, we'll see you at the Congress, and we'll get to hang out and have another super awesome, slightly overwhelming in a good way event. And yeah, we'll continue from there. All right, so I'm going to pop out for now. But thanks so much, everybody who showed up and stayed with me for my solo Facebook Live this week. I very much appreciate it. I'm very much not used to it, but I'm happy to be here and happy to see you all. All right, bye-bye, guys, and I hope you have a good week, a good weekend, and a good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, as Catherine would say.